Hey, Johnny Ballgame here. What's going on? You're not going to hire a basketball coach to fix your house up. You're not going to hire a gardener to operate on your hands. So why would you hire anybody but a solid professional when it comes to audio and visual production? You wouldn't. You're going to hire Brent Clapp. Brent Clapp Productions has a gorgeous studio, 4th Street in downtown LeGrand. I sign off on this 1,000%. I broadcast my show here every day. It's not some guy in the back room, although he once was. Brent has a qualified track record and a proven history in this business. Whatever production needs you may have are taken care of by pros, professionals. And not to mention, they're a Travel Oregon award-winning company. Yeah, stuff that they've produced has went on to win big-time media awards throughout the state. You don't have to go to the other side of the state. You don't have to do it on your own. You don't have to call a basketball coach. No. So listen to Ballgame. Brent Clapp Productions. It's where you need to be. Ha 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 ha. Hey, Johnny Ballgame here. What's going on? You're not going to hire a basketball coach to fix your house up. You're not going to hire a gardener to operate on your hand. So why would you hire anybody but a solid professional when it comes to audio and visual production? You wouldn't. You're going to hire Brent Clapp. Brent Clapp Productions has a gorgeous studio, 4th Street in downtown LeGrand. I sign off on this 1,000%. I broadcast my show here every day. It's not some guy in the back room, although he once was. Brent has a qualified track record and a proven history in this business. Whatever production needs you may have are taken care of by pros, professionals. And not to mention, they're a Travel Oregon award-winning company. Yeah, stuff that they've produced has went on to win big-time media awards throughout the state. You don't have to go to the other side of the state. You don't have to do it on your own. You don't have to call a basketball coach. No. So listen to Ballgame. Brent Clapp Productions. It's where you need to be. Ha 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 ha.
Hey, Eastern Oregon. I'm Brent Clapp. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's a pleasure for you to be here with us for this the Mayor's Forum. I can't struggle with that word. The Mayor's Forum from Island City. We have two different candidates. First, I want to be sure and mention our sponsors, Grand Ronde Hospital, EONI, Brother Bear Cafe, and True Value Hardware are our sponsors for tonight. So the purpose of tonight's forum is for you to be able to get to know your candidates if you are a part of Island City. And let me bring them in. They are Margaret Spence and David Comfort. Thanks you guys for jumping in with us tonight.
Thank you.
We want to encourage you all to submit questions during the opening statements of the candidates, and I guess throughout the forum, you will have the opportunity to submit questions to the candidates. Now, the questions that you specifically send to them will not be a part of the forum tonight. But they have the opportunity to go back after the fact and look at those comments and answer any relevant questions that you might have. I would encourage you all to keep your responses respectful and courteous, whatever it is that you're doing. Now, the forum is divided into three different parts. First, we're going to have some opening statements from each of the candidates. Then we have 4 questions that they have received ahead of time that we've prepared for them. And then we'll take a brief break. And at that point, we'd like to have questions from you guys that you have submitted. And you can do that again by putting those in the Facebook comments. And those questions are going to be questions that specifically would apply to both candidates. You can't ask a personal question of either one of them. I'm not going to put those things forward, but if you have relevant concerns or questions that apply to both candidates, then please, you can either email them or you can submit them in the Facebook comments. And a little later on, we will have an opportunity to put some of those questions forward. So I encourage you to do so. And again, if you have comments throughout the evening, we're monitoring those. We want to know what you think, and so on and so forth. So each of the questions will have a timer, and the timer sounds a little bit like this. Ding. And both of the candidates have assured me that they're probably not going to use the whole time, so which is just fine. Thank you guys for jumping in with us. So first of all, let's get going with some opening statements. And again, you have 3 minutes for each of them. And Margaret, you have been randomly selected to go first.
All right.
Yeah, tell us about yourself and help people get to know you.
So first of all, I just want to say thank you to Brent Clapp for having both Dave and I on tonight, so that way the viewers get to know us better. And my husband and I moved here almost 7 years ago from Woodburn, Oregon, to give our kids a better life. We really liked the rural lifestyle and wanted to do that. And so we moved here, and I was a stay-at-home mom. And so I became a school district employee because I wanted to do something while my kids were at school. And I became a kindergarten para, and I was a kindergarten para up until December for the last 6 years and really loved it. I ended my time at Island City Elementary School and really fell in love with the families, the students, the educators, and just really loved being there. Also, when we first moved here, I went to the fair and loved it. But I said, hey, there are some changes that could happen, and I am going to help that. So I joined the fair board. And then for the past 3 years, I was the fair manager and really changed things. I grew the vendors by 130%. Attendance went up. We got great music, and it just really turned things around. I got grants, was able to improve the grounds, and worked with the government, with the county, and with a lot of great people getting sponsorships and talking to the different people in town. I currently am the Union County Safe Communities Coalition Coordinator, so I work to help prevent substance use with our teens, and I've really enjoyed that. I wanted to change and focus on my city, so I decided to run as mayor. I have a love for service and a passion to help keep our town clean, safe, and healthy. I believe we need to get the sheriff's department to do more patrols. I also think we need to help clean up Island Avenue between Walmart and Ed Stobbs and Son. It is the gateway of our city, and it needs to facelift pretty bad. I want every citizen of Island City to look at that strip with pride, knowing our town is beautiful. I think we should be doing more gatherings with our neighbors at the beautiful park we have in town. Many people believe the school owns it, and that's not true. Let's use it. Let's have more block parties where you get to know not only your next door neighbor, but the people from a few streets over. Because when you know your neighbors, the more likely you are to look out for them.
All right. Thank you, Margaret. So, Mr. David Comfort, take it away.
Well, will do. Thanks again, Brent, for doing this. Margaret, thanks for doing this. And I was very excited to be asked to run for the mayor of Island City. I've served on the budget committee for a couple of years, and what it did was open my eyes to how city government work. And it kind of came back from high school years where I was able to spend some time at the University of Oregon over a couple of different summers in the American Legion's Boys State program. Started with cities, counties, all of that stuff helped me realize that every person can give back. When my boys got done with sports, there was a hole to fill. And when this opportunity arose, I think I'm ready to take this challenge on. Being on the budget committee opened my eyes again to public service. One of the things I have to say is through all the budget committee processes, through attending city council meetings, there's a ton of stuff that Karen Houghton does, and they do on a continual basis. Tabitha Gibbons in the water department, if you have a question, all you have to do is call them. Island City is a council-run program. It's a council-run city. And I could not think of 6 stronger people to have on the council. I know that some of them are up for either re-election or they've decided to pass the baton to somebody else. And when those people come in, whoever may be mayor is going to get to work with some really strong candidates. I mean, Don Starr, Don Longacre, Stan Terry, Clint Williams, Kevin Hampton, Russ Scott, all those people are really solid people, and they're the people that you want to make decisions. And one of the things that I'm excited about is we're getting a Panda Express. A Panda Express. And those things like that are going to create jobs. They're going to create income for the city. They're going to create opportunities that Island City hasn't had for quite some time. I'm just really excited to be mentioned to be mayor of Island City.
All right. Thank you, David. And I appreciate both of you guys' opening comments. So this next question, you guys have not received ahead of time, but it's an easy question. You'll have a minute to respond. And the question is to tell me what you love about Island City and what do they do right? And David, you get to respond to this question first. Yeah, 1 minute.
I really love the small town feel. There's a LeGrand small town feel, but there's Island City small town feel. You really get to walk outside, and when someone drives by, it's like, oh, hi, Don. Hi, Karen. Hi, Byron. And it is unbelievable how people in this community will continually, look out for you. If a neighbor realizes that your trailer's gone, it's not uncommon for him to come knock on your door and ask you where your trailer is, because he's concerned about you. And that doesn't have to be just a trailer. They're all concerned about all the things that happen in our city.
Excellent. Thank you. Margaret, what do you love about Island City? And what does Island City do right?
I love the people. First and foremost, I love the people. I love my neighbors. They're always willing to help whenever you need it. I love the sense of community that Island City has. I love the fact that the school is right here. And so our community, Island City, really rallies around those kids. You know, when there's a poinsettia sale at the school, people from our community really buy and support the school. And that's always been a great thing for me to see and watch. I went door to door when I was campaigning and tried to hit up every door in Island City, and everybody was so welcoming. You know, they were friendly, they were nice, they were supportive. And I just love that feel of strong community. You know, we have our community ties. And like Dave said, you know, we have a small town. You know, we're not as big as La Grande. However, we still have that sense of town and ownership and community. And we take pride in Island City. And I think that's a wonderful thing.
All right. Hey, thank you guys. So we're going to go to a brief commercial.
When we think about comfort food, the first thing that comes to mind is the South. Well, in La Grande, that's not the case anymore. Brother Bear Cafe is all about comfort, and they're all about food. They are locally owned. They use local products like Heinz meat, the farmer's market, and locally roasted coffee. They have plenty of room, couches, games, and they have the best staff. They have a rotating breakfast menu and a killer lunch menu. Did I mention that all the specialty baking is done in-house? One last thing, if you bring in an adventure picture for the adventure wall, you get a drink on the house. Brother Bear Cafe, 1009 Adams in La Grande, right across from City Hall. Give it a try. You won't regret it.
Hey, Eastern Oregon, thank you for joining us. We're back with the Mayor's Forum from Island City. And hey, let's get into the questions. So there's 4 questions here. You guys received these ahead of time. David, you're going to respond to the first, or sorry, Margaret, you're going to respond to the first one. And that is, what do you believe is the role of the mayor of Island City, and how does it differ from the role of mayors in the surrounding cities? And you have 2 minutes for this answer.
Am I not going to go to a different screen?
Yeah, sorry. So did you catch that question, Margaret?
I did.
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead. Take off on that. Yeah.
So I believe that the mayor is responsible. The mayor is responsible for the general welfare of the city. They take on a policy-making role by recommending policies to the council. They see that laws are enforced and the city officials and employees are properly doing their jobs. The mayor is the chairman of the council and presides over the meetings. They have a vote on all decisions made during the council meetings. And our mayor is not really different than any of the other mayors of the cities, except for the fact that we have a smaller city. However, we are still just as important. Our citizens are, and so is our council. We're just as important as the other city councils.
Great. Thank you. So David, same question. What do you believe is the role of the mayor of Island City, and how does it differ from the role of the mayors in surrounding areas?
In surrounding areas, I would say that we're different here. The mayor is in charge of running the meetings, and you can have the votes the way that the votes are, but the mayor doesn't have any veto-ship of any of those. He can bring up motions and votes and things like that, but it really boils down to the city administrator, Karen Houghton. She has in charge of all the city crews. She is in contact with the city of La Grande when our streets need plowed. And the entire crew, the Public Works Department, they have the ability. Karen has given the ability to take care of all the needs that this city needs. One of the primary jobs that I believe the mayor does is the mayor takes care of the things that possibly that Karen can delegate that to the mayor. There's decisions that Karen will have to make that will come back to the council, but the council will talk about them. And again, I fall back to that strong council. We have a super strong council, and I think we are headed in the right direction.
Great. Thank you, guys. So this next question is, what are the biggest challenges facing Island City, and what are your ideas to help solve those issues? And David, you respond to this question first.
Okay, thanks. One of the obvious things that have popped up at the meetings that I've attended and gathered some information about is the police contract. In order for the city to renegotiate a contract, they needed to vote to terminate that service. One of the things that is happening right now, as everyone is aware, is we will have a new sheriff. So when the new sheriff comes on board, the current sheriff believes that it's in the best interest of everyone to have the new sheriff and his people negotiate with the city of Island City for coverage. There's always going to be people that say we have just the right amount of coverage, and there's always going to be people that say we have too much coverage. And it's all going to be dependent on those negotiations. I think that's one of the biggest areas that people feel uncertain about as we move forward.
All right. Thank you. Margaret, what's your response to that question?
So I think one of the biggest issues is safety. You know, the current council has put notice to cancel the sheriff's contract to negotiate terms next July. I talked to Cody Bowen about this, and he's confident that we can get a contract back in place. Walmart is actually responsible for about 90% of the calls made to the sheriff's office for shoplifting. So that doesn't mean that the citizen should get less patrol. You know, that's not fair to the residents of Island City. I want to make sure we get more patrols of our streets, not less, since I have noticed an increase of illegal activity. And when I was going door to door, a lot of people said that they wanted more patrols. They want the police presence here. They want it known. Another challenge is getting more businesses here. If we could get more stores here, more tourists would stop in and shop, which means more money to our valley. So it's great news about Panda Express, but we need more. We definitely need more businesses here in town.
Great. Thank you, guys. And speaking of more businesses, we have a quick commercial from Grand Ronde Hospital and their new
Grand Ronde Hospital Urgent Care is now open daily across the parking lot from Grocery Outlet in Island City. So when you just can't wait for an appointment with your primary care provider and a trip to the emergency department doesn't quite make sense, GRH Urgent Care is the perfect option for treating your minor illness or injury. No appointment required. For more information, visit grh.org/urgent care or give us a call at 962-7845.
Grand Ronde Hospital.
Thank you, Eastern Oregon, for joining us. And again, just want to remind you, viewers that are out there, here in a few minutes, we're going to be asking questions coming from you. And if you would like to submit a question either via Facebook comments or via email, the email that is on the bottom of your screen now, then we would love to hear from you. And so, well, in the meantime, let's move on. Okay. So the next question is, what kind of growth do you envision for Island City? And Margaret, you're going to respond to this question first.
So not only do I want to see more businesses move into our town, but I would love to see more families come here. This is a great city with a phenomenal elementary school where teachers and the past principal have all won state awards. We should be advertising that more so young families move here. The more families that come, the more potential businesses growth we could have. There is so much land and empty buildings that is just sitting vacant in Island City, waiting for someone to do something great with it. I would work with the LeGrand's Economic Development Department to try to recruit new businesses to come to town.
Great. David, what kind of growth do you envision for the city of Island City?
I just see a great deal of development. I think as Panda Express moves here, and with Walmart as an anchor, and everything that is Island City Mart is open for business. There are developers that want to develop land to have more homes. There are businesses and business, commercial, all that is going to happen when you get more people. I agree with Margaret on that fact. Is if you can get more people to come to Island City, then you're going to create tax dollars. You're going to create other dollars that can be spent to develop.
Great, thank you. So both of you are new to this. I mean, you've never served as mayor. Is that right? I mean, and Dave, you said that you've served on their budget committee, but you guys are pretty new to this. So this next question is pretty important, and that is, if you are elected, what will you do to prepare yourself for the leadership duties required? And David, you get to go first on this one.
I think the biggest thing that I could do is to reach out to staff, and that staff can be from top to bottom. That's Karen to the people that work on trying to get the rocks off the road. It doesn't matter what that is, but reach out to staff and really reach out to the city council. The city council is, I'll call it stationed where they live. They get to see their neighbors interact. They get to see and hear from their neighbors what would be better, what would be best. And I think reaching out to the community in general is just always being available to help with concerns.
All right. Thank you, David. And Margaret, how do you see yourself preparing for this role?
I would call and talk with the past and current mayor and see if I could shadow them. I would also call and work with Karen in City Hall and form a relationship with her, since I feel that's very, very, very important. She is the mayor's right hand and knows more about the job than anyone. I would also get together with the mayors from around the valley during their monthly mayors meetings, and also work with city council members, get to know them, talk to them, see how things were run in the past, see if there's things that they want to change, see what they like, and just get to know everybody in City Hall.
Good, thank you. All righty, well, we're going to take a short break. Again, if you have some questions that you'd like to submit, we'll come back, we'll address some of those questions, and we will.
This is Jimmy B, front-end manager here at True Value in LeGrand. We are located at 214 Greenwood on the corner of Jefferson and Greenwood. We are locally owned and operated. Community and customer service are the cornerstones of our mission here at True Value. We feature Easy Care Paint, Diablo Saw, and Makita Tools. Our professional, courteous staff are always willing to help. We want to make your job easier, so stop on by True Value here in LeGrand. Behind every project is a True Value.
Hey, Eastern Oregon, thank you for joining us. This is the Island City Mayor's Forum with the candidates Margaret Spence and David Comfort. Thank you guys for jumping in, and we're to that section where none of us really know what questions are coming. And you know, I'm gonna give you one of the questions, but we're gonna ask that second because it's a little bit introspective, and I want to give you the opportunity to think about it. So the question that we're going to ask second is this one: mention a hardship you've been through recently, and what you've learned from that experience. So that's a little bit introspective question. But the first question that we're going to ask is a little more closely related to what it is that we just talked about, and that is, what's your plan to connect with the community better so that we know what's going on with our city? What's your plan to connect with the community better so we know what's going on with our city? In other words, if you're elected mayor, what can you do to improve communications with the citizens so that they're more aware of what's going on? So, and Margaret, you are going to respond to this question first.
I am a very social person. And so, as you guys know from my campaign, I went door to door, and I'm going to continue to do that. I really believe that the mayor should be known in the residents, in the community, in the city that they are elected. So I plan to still go door to door to talk to everybody, find out what's going on, how they feel like the city is going, if they want anything changed. And then also, I really believe in transparency with put it on Facebook, put minutes on Facebook, put information on Facebook and on the website, let people know what's going on, and really trying to do some more advertising with letting people know, some radio ads of, hey, we have this event coming up, or the meetings are tonight. I found that a lot of people didn't know when city council meetings are, and that's a simple thing of, hey, we can make a phone call or send out newsletters. And I know in the past they used to do newsletters, and I would love to bring that back and really just get the information to the people.
Good. Thank you. So David, answer. You take a shot at that question for us.
Oh, no problem. A lot of the information that is needed is on the website. It's uploaded. Karen takes great care in putting that forward. And if you need a copy of it, she's a phone call away to get that information. I agree with Margaret. One of the things that we thought was pretty neat was we would get that letter from the city or from the council or even from the mayor that would tell us what's going on in Island City. It could be as easy as the city's coming by to clear the hydrant drainage. So for a couple of days or for a little while, your water might be brown. But we're doing that to clear the pipes and make sure everything's working correctly. That was an important newsletter for a lot of people because people are home more now. And if they can get that kind of information from a newsletter that someone on staff brought to the house, that's pretty important.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, so now for the more introspective question, and that is mention a hardship that you have been through recently. And if you need to expand the recently a little bit, you can, and what you have learned from that experience. And David, you could respond to this question first.
Thanks. One of the big hardships that myself and my family has been through has been the passing of my wife's father. John Field had an immense presence in my life. And it didn't matter what avenue in life I needed guidance on, he was there. just recently, this is going to sound a little corny, but just recently I found an O-ring for some reason in my back pocket. And I grabbed that O-ring out of my back pocket and said, how can I maybe use this to be better? And it turns out that I put that O-ring on my finger, and when I look at it, it does remind me to be better. And hopefully, if other people ask me about it, then they can be better too. You can always be a better neighbor. You can always be a better husband. You can always be a better father. But now I've been given something that shows me, you know what? John put that in my back pocket.
Thank you, David. Margaret.
So mine is very similar to Dave's. A hardship that I've been through recently, and it's recent to me, but probably not recent to a lot of people because it's been a while, but it's still recent in my life, is the passing of my father. It was incredibly hard, very, very hard. I still feel like I'm too young to have already had to bury a parent. However, I was in the middle of working with kindergartners and trying to teach and do that job, but also I was also the fair manager, and this was in one year in May. And so I was a fair manager, and right about May is when I'm getting really busy with that job, and I'm doing vendors, and I'm trying to get music, and I'm working with the board, and I'm trying to get sponsorships, and then on top of that, trying to do my regular 9-to-5 job, and be a wife and be a mom to 2 kids. And be present. And I had to take a step back and say, I can't do that stuff. I just have to be the daughter of someone who is grieving, and really rely on my siblings. And I'm very blessed with a fabulous family who we lean on each other and we support each other. And I learned that I'm stronger than I thought. I can do more than what I know. Luckily, I'm a very, very detail-oriented person, very organized, and so I could take a week off of work for both of my jobs and come back knowing that I still had my stuff, my ducks in a row. And like I said, I just am very blessed with the family that I have, who loves and supports each other through thick and thin and really bad times. And just learning from that experience that I'm a better person when I'm with family and when I'm with those who that I love and are surrounded by that. And it's been a good time now.
All right. Thank you, guys. So one more question that came in. And this is a tough nuts and bolts question. Every city, everywhere deals with this. Do you have a plan to deal with the snow load, flooding, and potholes? And Margaret, you get to respond to this question first.
You know, I got to say that I haven't noticed as many potholes, I guess, that maybe other people noticed. I will say that the flooding, I see the corners that are bad, the streets, they need to have, we should be doing that now, having the streets, the grates cleaned out so there's not leaves that are blocking it, so when it floods. I will tell you that my street never gets plowed, ever. We have a neighbor that will come out and do some stuff, or if it gets plowed, it's toward the end, and I would love to see some stuff getting plowed. However, I also know how expensive it is to plow people or plow streets, and I also know that public works employees, they work very, very hard, and so to add on more duties to them, it's taxing, and it costs a lot of money to have the streets plowed when it's only 2 inches. You really need to wait until it's more snow. But I would love to see those get plowed more often.
All right. Thank you. David, what's your response to this question?
As far as the snow loads and stuff like that go, it all falls back to neighbors. And I'm not saying it all falls on the neighbor's shoulders, but what I've found is, for some reason, if I haven't gotten to the snow load, I'll come home from work and I'll find that someone's run down the sidewalks with the ATV or a snow blower, something to that effect. The way that our subdivision is set up, when the wind comes sideways, there could be one house that gets completely missed by all the drifting snow. And then there's one house that is just inundated with how the snow piled up. And we've tried to tell our boys, we've tried to tell ourselves that, you know what, if you got extra time, then go help somebody that may not have that time. The flooding, that's a little different issue, but I agree with Margaret. There's not a bunch of streets in Island City that have a lot of potholes or just rough road. It's kind of the catch-22 of plowing, though, because as they plow, they could be knocking away some of the asphalt. So I totally agree that plowing needs to happen when it gets to a certain point. But until then, if you're having difficulty, that's another call that you can make to City Hall. And if I can make that happen, then I'm going to make it happen to where either myself, my son, or my other son, or anyone that can get over can help you.
All right. Thank you, David. Okay, so it's time for your guys' closing statements. You have a minute to tell people why they should vote for you. And this is going to be the reverse order of your opening statements. And so, David, you get to go first.
I am just super excited for the opportunity to work with city staff, and I'm super excited to continue to get suggestions from the community as to how we can be better. I've been a member of the country club off and on for so many years. The country club is a key component to our little community, and I'm really hoping to get the chance to work with the country club and with the city as we move forward.
All right, thank you. Margaret.
I would love to have your trust with a vote for me. I'm passionate about becoming mayor and I want the job. I know how to get things done and I'm willing to hit the pavement running. I will be an open door mayor, meaning you can come to me anytime to talk about the city. I will be a mayor who won't stop going door to door to check in with people. I want to know what you want changed and what you like. Thank you for allowing me into your homes tonight and for listening to both Dave and I with an open mind.
All right. Hey, thank you guys. And my little spiel always is that, city council members, it's kind of a thankless job. It really is. They're people that serve us. There are times that citizens get frustrated, and I've been in front of the Island City Council frustrated from time to time, but they're citizens. They're just like us. They're people who have stepped up, and there's a tremendous amount of studying. People generally have no idea how complicated building codes are and all of the stuff that it takes to run a city. The budget. I mean, it is just a humongous amount of stuff and information. And I appreciate you guys putting your hats in the ring, being willing to do so. I'm sure that whoever is not chosen as mayor, I'm sure that they would take you as a city council member anytime. And so I hope that you guys will consider that. And again, I appreciate you taking the time to do this tonight. Also, just always want to appreciate my crew here locally, the guys in the office day to day, Bennett and Kyle, and my dear wife, Tanya, who is sitting here beside me. She worked a full day and she's sitting here doing this kind of stuff, playing producer and director tonight. again, thanks to our sponsors who make this kind of thing happen. And we appreciate you guys supporting us. And we